CMPD saw a 20% drop in people applying to be police officers last year, and the chief blames low pay.
The department's been pushing for raises, and some officers are trying to make ends meet however they can. For many, that means picking up a side job. Eyewitness News anchor John Paul investigated and found that can lead to some long days in uniform.
Besides the traffic and the crowds, among the more common sights in uptown Charlotte, police. But not all of the officers you see are on duty. And really, you don't know unless you ask.
Are you on secondary now or are you on patrol? On duty. You're on duty.
Like most departments, CMPD allows its officers to pick up shifts beyond their 40 hours. It's called secondary employment. Basically, businesses can hire officers through CMPD to provide security or traffic detail, and they pay them a set rate. It doesn't come out of CMPD's budget.
We wanted to know how many officers are using secondary employment. So we filed a public records request, and this is what we got. 8,000 pages of documents showing that more than 80% of officers are doing the extra work.
Last year, more than 1,600 CMPD officers clocked hours on secondary employment to the tune of more than $16 million. To put that in perspective, the department has around 1,800 officers on staff. The top 10 grossing officers in 2017 all pulled in more than $40,000 in secondary employment pay. One officer made more than $70,000.
I'm John Paul with Channel 9. I'm working on a story and I've been looking for you.
And we knew just where to find him. The records we obtained show he usually works security for Bank of America. Turns out he retired from CMPD and only came back to work secondary employment. Bank of America is one of the top secondary employers for CMPD officers.
Why are so many officers doing this?
To make ends meet.
You think your guys are being overworked?
Yeah, we are being overworked. Yeah.
What's the solution to that?
We need to get more officers in here. We need to get better pay, better benefits.
Mark Michalik is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, and he says while many officers like having the option of secondary employment, some have to work extra because of low pay. He revealed officers can spend up to 72 hours a week in uniform.
You'd rather just work the 40 hours and spend time with the family.
Be a top pay of their respective ranks.
Earlier this year, officers packed the council meeting demanding better pay. And in June, council passed the first raise for CMPD in 5 years at just about 5%. That's far short of what officers asked for. Starting officers went from making around $43,000 to around $46,000 or more, depending on their education.
It's becoming increasingly unaffordable for workers.
Councilman Braxton Winston made police accountability a big part of his campaign for council. He told me he's concerned about officer burnout, especially in a job that requires them to make split-second decisions.
I want them to be able to focus on that job and not have to worry about being security guards after hours.
John Paul, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
John mentioned Bank of America, one of the top secondary employers for CMPD officers. The bank paid out $1 million in those fees last year. North Lake Mall spent $250,000 to hire off-duty CMPD officers.